YouTube, what's going on? It's Jamar here, Vegas Sense. Got a brand new comparison video. In this video, we're going to be comparing a clone against an original fragrance. And the original fragrance that we're looking at is going to be Initio's Musk Therapy. And the challenger, or the clone, is going to be Fragrance World's Glorious Oud Royal Blanc. So as you can see here, the Glorious Oud Royal Blanc bottle, this looks very much similar to some of the other Fragrance World Initio clones that they have released. And I have the other two that I own anyway, right here. This one, Glorious Oud, being the Oud for Greatness clone. And then you have the Initio Side Effect clone right here, and this one is called After Effect. All right. So again, the bottle designs for these are, pretty similar. The colors of the bottle pretty much give away, the fragrance that they're cloning. I do know that there is at least one more fragrance in this line, and that one is Happiness Oud. And obviously that one is cloning Oud for Happiness. I do plan to pick that one up because just looking at the notes anyway, that one does seem like something that I would probably like. Now, the question here is whether or not these two are, similar at all. Is the Initio I guess super, high quality, and this one smells super cheap? We'll have to find out. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to spray Musk Therapy on my left hand, and I'm gonna spray the Royal Blanc on my right. And we're gonna see how these smell. Kind of let them dry off a little bit. So I would say just in the opening, the Initio, I would say, is like maybe 1 to 2% more brighter, I would say. Yeah, the Initio seems to be a little bit brighter, and I would also say it's a little bit creamier as well. The Royal Blanc, I would say, is slightly more musky and slightly less creamy. Both kind of give you like a really nice sparkly, citrusy, sort of musky floral type of opening. But again, I would say the Initio is like just slightly more brighter. Now, again, these differences are differences that you would have to detect by getting up close to the actual scent itself. I don't think that these are differences that you would be able to smell in the air, because, again, I'm talking about maybe 1 to 2% difference here. So it's something that I'm really sort of having to dig hard to, find the differences in. And so now these are both starting to change a little bit. They're both starting to get into like that creamy sandalwood note that's in Musk Therapy. And right now, I would say these smell identical. And the thing also is the strength of these are pretty much the same as well. I'm not really detecting, any sort of difference in strength between the clone and the original. I know with some of the other clones that I've tried, when comparing those with the originals, the clones have been slightly more stronger, like, the projection anyway has been stronger. In this particular case, I'm not really getting that. In this case, I'm getting the same strength, honestly. So, is this particular scent worth the $370 retail? I would have to say, at least in the opening so far, no, it's not. This particular fragrance, the Royal Blanc, you can find this on the Oud store for $69.99. So it's not the cheapest clone. And it's also been, like, for whatever reason, unavailable here in the US for at least about 8 months or so. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Really, the only place that I know that really sells this particular fragrance is the Oud store. Why, I'm not sure, because I know the other fragrances from Fragrance World that are in this line that are cloning the Initio fragrances, you can find those fragrances on Amazon. You can find them on tripletraders.com. So I'm not really sure why this particular fragrance is, so hard to get. Now, here I have the dry downs of these two fragrances. So on the left here, I have the Initio, and on the right, I have the Royal Blanc. I would say also in the dry down, man, like these are like 98 to 99% close. Like I don't really detect any sort of difference. And the thing is I came into this wanting to be able to find some sort of noticeable difference between these two fragrances, just off of the simple fact that, I paid a decent amount of money for this particular fragrance. I didn't pay the $370, but I still paid like around $200 for the Initio. And for me to be able to get the exact same, experience from a $70 fragrance, that is pretty amazing to me. It really is. And it just really shows how close these clones are able to get now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if these clones are being blended by some sort of AI technology or something. Like, I have no idea. But if these are being done by actual people, then, it's some really talented people out here that are able to recreate, these fragrances, obviously not using the exact same materials that the original fragrance is using, using cheaper materials, but still able to come out with, pretty much the same product. That's amazing to me. So yeah, man, just smelling these on the dry down again, I don't really notice any sort of strength difference really. And the smell is exactly the same, honestly. So if you own Musk Therapy and you're maybe looking for something, that you can wear, as a replacement for that, maybe you don't want to, use that bottle up, this is for you. I would say this is a great alternative. If you're someone that likes the scent DNA of Musk Therapy, that musky, citrusy, sort of fruity, creamy type of scent, then I would say this is definitely all you need. The Royal Blanc by Fragrance World. This is right there with it. It really is. And this doesn't leave anything to be desired when, comparing it to the Musk Therapy. Again, just smelling these up close, man. These are pretty much the same scent. Now, I will say, at least right now on my skin, I will say that the Initio seems to be just slightly more stronger than the Glorious Oud. So But I mean, honestly, it's not really anything that I could say is significant, honestly. So this one, man, again, you can find this on the Oud store for $69.99. I would say, even though this is a pretty expensive clone, for how close this comes to the Musk Therapy, this is absolutely worth it. Definitely with Mother's Day coming up, this is definitely going to be a great Mother's Day gift to give to, your mother, girlfriend, wife, whoever. This is a amazing fragrance, all right? And it's also a great fragrance for men to wear as well. I would say this is totally unisex. So, again, go ahead and check this out, oudstore.com. $69.99 for a 80 ml bottle. So it's a little bit smaller than the 90 ml that the Initio comes in. But again, this is 100% worth it for the price, all right? So again, in this particular battle, man, Initio versus Fragrance World, gotta go with the Fragrance World. Gotta go with the Fragrance World, all right? So let me know, have you all smelled both of these fragrances? Have you smelled Musk Therapy and Glorious Oud Royal Blanc? Do you think that they're, exactly the same? And do you think that this one is actually more worth it over the Initio? All right. So go ahead and drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe. Also share this video if you found this information helpful. That's Jamar here, Vegas Sense. I'll see y'all in the next video.